Hello everybody, it is I, your favorite VTuber Android Airhead, and today I'd like to talk about some red flags. So, as we all know, sometimes in a relationship, there's like, you see a few signs and it's like, wow, they killed a guy, and you then know not to date that person. That is a red flag. But today I want to talk about things that people don't necessarily talk about with regards to red flags. Like, obviously we all know, like, racism, or committing a vehement crime. All those are bad. I want to bring up the things that no one talks about. The things that, like, you're like, okay, I could probably make this work, but maybe you shouldn't. Because it's a red flag, hence the title of the stream and the thing I just said. Anyway, so let's discuss the tiers, right? So at the bottom we got let's get married. That's like, okay, not only is it not a red flag, green flag. That's a great thing right there. You want to stay with that person forever. I probably won't be using that tier at all. I don't know why I put that there. Maybe just for comparison. Anyway, let's just establish a baseline. Something like that would be like, oh hey, they want the same things of you as you out of life or whatever. Hey lovers, welcome to the stream. Time to point our claws by painting them red. No, crimson. Sure. I think we're gonna kill people by that logic, but alright, sure. We'll be a red flag. Anyway, next level is stay together. You know what? Maybe it could be bad, but yeah, you could make it work, probably. Let's be friends. Okay, you're gonna have to break up with them, but you could be friends with them. That's something. Let's be strangers. Okay, you don't like them and you never want to see them again. Let's be enemies. Not only do you not like them, you also want them dead. Or maybe not dead, but okay, fine. You want, like, you have a Joker Batman kind of relationship with them at that point. This is certainly unusual content, but I like seeing things switched up. Yeah, I used to do a lot more streams like this in terms of just like random ideas I came up with, but I stopped for mainly just doing game stuff. But you know what? I want to bring back some of the odd things that I do, which most people would say is most of what I do, but disregard that. No clue how hyped I was here seeing playing Catherine. Oh yeah, that's the thing. I knew that was going to make you happy because I remember you bringing that up and I was like, oh, I have that already. I might as well just do that for a stream because I also never beat it. And you know what? Let's see how bad Vincent's going to get. It'll be a fun stream tomorrow. I think when I first played, I think I made it up to the butt monster and I beat that and I forgot to get back to it. So it'll be interesting continuing, or I guess not continuing, starting over and then going past that. Because I want to see exactly how that game is going to go. Anywho, let us begin. If the audience has any suggestions as to what a red flag could be, you know what? Go ahead and say it. Why not? I think it could be interesting. Alright, so I'll even make the little, the drawing color red. First thing I had on my list was, let me think. Watching, like, the AI 60 FPS anime stuff. Like, they put it into an AI thing, they churn it out, and take what was like a 24 FPS thing and turn it into 60 FPS. Honestly, that's going in enemy. I'm gonna put that right here. The 60 FPS anime. You know why? You know why it's going in enemy? I think it looks like shit. I think it's terrible. I think it's a terrible way to consume stuff. Yeah, sure, you could say it's petty to, like, want to break up with someone over, like, the way they watch stuff. But you know what? I'm okay with that in this case. I think that's a terrible way to consume stuff. Red flags and relationship qualities? I would say so. Yeah, that's the general idea. Is that, like, it's either like, oh, let's get married, let's stay together, let's be friends, let's be strangers, or let's be enemies. So yeah, that's what I'm putting in like this. And I don't want to talk about, like, things that everyone talks about, like racism or evil stuff. These are just, like, little things that are just, in my eyes, a sign of something much worse. As in, like, would I want to date someone who does this? Probably not. Alright, so yeah, 60 FPS anime, I think it's a terrible way to consume anime in general. I don't like it. I think it looks like shit. Yeah, that's it. That's the main thing. Let's be enemies. Also, just AI stuff in general. Just gonna put that one out there. Alright, next thing on the list. Not ordering fries and then taking mine when I do order fries. This is complex. Ruining art are because of the frame rate. Fuck you. Exactly. Yeah. Nah, man, that's going under enemies. Yeah, ordering fries when, like, let's say I order fries and they're like, no, I don't want any fries. And then when I have the fries, they eat some of my fries. Now, would I break up with someone over this? Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows? I think I could work with that. However, it does definitely annoy me that someone would theoretically be like, no, I'm fine, and then take the food I ordered. I ordered the fries because I wanted the fries. If you want to order fries, you can have them. It's the same calories. It's not even a problem in that regard. So I'm going to put that under... Could I make that work? That's the question. Could I bear with that? If they never changed at all from that, could I bear with that? I think I'm putting that under Let's Be Friends. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like that would get annoying pretty quickly to have to deal with all that. You can give it the WickDonald's logo and a bunch of fries. There. Giving a gift that you know is disrespectful, intentional, and then lying about the intentions behind it. Oh, okay, yeah, that's definitely an enemy's evil gift. Like, you know it's gonna cause some shit, but you're like, oh, hey, this'll get me points with her mother or something. Or, like, they do it, like, to embarrass you. No, I totally agree. That's cruel. Granted, that is, like, a real red flag, but, like, wait, hold on. I should probably make this more evil looking. I gave him the evil eyes. Alright, there you go. The gift is evil. Wait, no, that's a shitty ribbon. Hold on. Not much better, but I'll take it. Alright. Anyway. So yeah, we got evil gifts, we got 60 FPS anime, we got the stealing fries. Going off your answer, I think saying no to anything and getting mad that you didn't get the thing you purposely denied, I'm gonna throw hands. Yeah. I think it's under Let's Be Friends. Don't get me wrong, I might be able to make that work as far as relationships go. But man, I feel like that would get annoying quickly. I still will never forgive the person who gave my current partner AI art to a person who's an actual artist. Yeah, that's insane. Trying to pass that off to someone who actually knows what's what. Oh, that's rough. Okay, now, what I'm about to say is a little hard to describe. Texting, like, little bits of a sentence at a time. Like, you know when you're in a conversation with someone and they'll have it be like, so today, text, I went to the store, text, and then, text, all that, or it's like they end everything in like, actually wait, that's a separate thing. Or like just texting in like little bits and pieces, that annoys the fuck out, like it's one thing if it's for like comedic stuff, so it's like, so then, I got hit by a car. That can be useful. But it's when you like, consistently do that for everything. Instead of just doing like one giant block of a text. I don't know. That annoys me. Okay, yeah, you know what, that's... Maybe, I wouldn't, like, fight someone over it, but I think that's going in strangers, so that's... And then, also under that, another one, and... Another one... It's like, bro, just type it in a block, the way the rest of us do it. You don't have to be all weird about it. You just... Alright, anyway. It's good that we're in agreement on that. Let's see, what else do I have on my list? Alright, this one, again, it's gonna sound a little weird to describe it, but, like, you ever seen someone who will, like, eat grapes at the supermarket, one by one, and try to not be caught? Like, they look around, they're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. They're trying to not be caught, but they're just eating grapes right off the stand. That is such a weird, specific crime, where it's like, yeah, it's obviously it's a crime, it's theft, but, like, I think I would break up with someone who does that. I want to say that. The question is by how much. Exceptions such as broken enter being a send key. Okay, that I could see. If it's not a consistent behavior, that's okay. You know what? Sometimes things are broken. But yeah, I think in general, if they choose to do that, that's not great. Food contamination theft. You know what? Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And contamination. I didn't even think about that. You're contaminating for everyone else. Grape thief is going in enemies. Let me draw the individual grapes. The grapelets. I don't know if that's actually... Obviously, like, an individual grape is called a grape, but, like... Is this like a bushel or like a vine? What's the little bundle of them called? Is it a bundle of grapes? And then, like, a thief, so, I'm gonna draw the little mask. And they're doing, like, the Kirby inhale thing. Sure. For all we know, that is Kirby. Grapevine, that's what you mean. No, so I know they grow in a grapevine, but, like, is, like, let's say, you know these the specific bushel of things, like this specific part of the thing, where, like, you buy it at supermarkets, it's like a little bundle of grapes. Is that called the vine, or is the vine just what they grow on? Because I know they grow in a grapevine, but... Riveting conversation from Arrowhead. Once more, that's... Well, anyway. Let's see, what else do I have on my list? Oh yeah, here's something I heard in a Reddit story once. And I had to consider, if I was in this sort of situation, would I be able to handle this? And this story, a guy was asking for relationship advice. His girlfriend kept watering down the milk to make it last longer. As in, she would open the milk bottle, or jug, or whatever it is, and after she used it, pour water into it to, quote-unquote, make the milk last longer. What about people who are into feet? Could I make feet work? Nah, I'm not about it. Alright, look, I'm not saying, like, I'd kill a person who's into feet, but I don't think I could date a person who is like, oh, let me see your feet, I want to taste your feet, because that's just kind of unsanitary at that point. Even if you wash your feet, mind you can tell by my drawing over here, I'm not very good at drawing feet, which is probably for the best. I think that's just not something I'd want to deal with. That's just not, yeah, I don't know. Also, welcome to the stream, Samhead, how you doing? But yeah, back to the milk thing. And then, like, the worst part of that story was she apparently refused to drink it and said, like, you're overreacting to the boyfriend when he confronted her on it. And I'm just like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? That's not how milk works. It's not mostly water. If it was skim milk, maybe, but, like... Immediate deal breaker, I'm sorry, don't get me wrong, but I ate milk, but understand preferences. That's what you dare with drinks. That's the other thing, is that, like, also, milk doesn't stay good that long anyway. It goes bad in like 2 weeks. You don't need to make it last longer. If anything, like, consume it quickly, because then it won't get bad. So yeah, you know what? Milk... I wouldn't, like... Do I have the same visceral reaction to that I have to the 60 FPS anime? Not really. I think I'd put it in Stranger. Just because, like, yeah, I'm not going to do it, but... A little milk carton. Get a little da-da-da-da-da. And then, what am I doing for the... let's put cow on one side and then water on the other. Looks like the devil a little bit. I should make little cow ears. And a nose. Okay, yeah, that's kind of a cow. Or a bull, perhaps, if it's the wrong kind of milk. And then we got water. Look, that's a water droplet. You made it look like it, but it is. I would turn her into the same Chimera show tucker. Oh, yeah. My god. What are people who say they'll do something but only do it if you ask them enough times. Oh, that's fucked. Not like evil, but man, that's annoying. Where it's like, let's say you take out the trash, you ask them like 10 times, like, all right, fine, I'll do it. It's like, okay, but I asked you to do it once. It takes 2 minutes. Just go take out the trash. And don't get me wrong, I'm a little guilty of this sometimes where it's like, someone will ask me something and I'll forget. And then I'll like keep like forgetting and then I'll like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'm sorry. I think that's going under strangers. So that's, well, a question mark like times 10 or 100. Yeah, that's going into strangers. I wouldn't want to like do that. I think that's just kind of eh. Wine grapes called a stalker stem. Okay, that answers that question. I'm glad we're answering these riveting questions. That's it does soothe the mind a bit. Stop leaving entire pieces of food in the sink. Okay, yeah, enemies. I fucking already hate cleaning the dishes. I especially hate it when there's a whole ass thing of food already on the plate still that I have to scrape off because they didn't. Little drumstick in there. Little itty bitty drumstick. It's on a plate. Okay. Yeah, enemies. I fucking hate the feeling of dealing with like rotting, wet food. I think that's abysmal. Forgetting is one thing and knowing and still ignoring the request is no. Okay, yeah, no, I agree. That's strangers, definitely. We have nothing in stay together or get married at this point. I don't think we're gonna have anything in those. I'm not even sure why I included those tiers. I don't think I even have anything that would go in them. That's the thought for the future if I keep doing more tier list stuff. Let's see. Other things. Imagine having to clean an entire household's worth of dishes solo, only to see food still on the plates and having to scrape that off manually since Sprinkle doesn't get it off. Yeah, exactly. That's going in enemies. Man, I hate dealing with, like, crusty, disgusting, wet food. Ah. I got, like, rubber gloves. Because I just hate dealing... I don't like touching it. It feels... Like, I know I can wash my hands afterwards, but it just feels gross. Right? Am I crazy for that? Anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I avoid it at all costs. I think it's terrible. You're not necessarily evil, but man, I don't like doing it. I really don't. I don't want that in a relationship. All right. Next up, what do I got? What's a weird one? What's a weird one I can throw on here? Oh, here's another one. Putting arguments, and I've heard about this in some relationships, putting arguments into ChatGPT to win them. As in, like, you're having an argument with them, and then they go to ChatGPT to prove that their point is right. Just be like, hey, yeah, ChatGPT agrees with me. I would say enemies, but that implies that I want to see them again. I'm going to put that in strangers, because at this point, you know what? I would rather not talk to someone like that, especially because if they are enemies with me, they would just do this. GPT, and then like a little action bubble around to show that there's a fight going on. I think that's abysmal. Immediate red flag. Actually, no, Crimson Banner. Yeah. For me, that implies strangers I'd put on a hit list. Yeah, I'm being real. I would never want to talk to this person at that point. Mainly just because I would find it so incredibly annoying that, you know, I just, the thought of someone being like, oh, this robot agrees with me. And don't get me wrong, there are situations where, like, let's say you go to Google to, like, Google if something is correct. That's fine, because that's an actual, like, fact you can look up. I'm talking straight up, like, you go to ChatGPT and have it agree with you just so you have someone on your side. Just under that is going to Reddit. Mainly just because, like, especially if the argument just happened. Actually, you know what? Let's put Reddit on here. The going to Reddit to solve your issues. Where it's like, actually, you know what? I wouldn't necessarily break up with someone for doing that. but only if they actually listened to the complaints they got. If they were in the wrong. So you know what? I'll put Reddit and Let's Stay together just on the virtue of it's not necessarily a deal breaker. We got the little... Not gonna lie, I kind of forgot what Reddit's logo looks like. I think it's like a little robot thing, like a pumpkin. That's probably Reddit. Anyway, you have to source your thinking of that onto a robot. Exactly, yeah. At that point, I'm in the relationship with ChatGPT, which I don't even want to be. Which, another thing, AI boyfriend and girlfriend. That's just bad. I'm not going to put it on here because obviously those people aren't even in relationships. But again, that's bad. It's like searching up, hey, should I break up with X and trusting the AI overview? Or that thing that some people do where they'll have like the AI that acts like a character from a game, and then they'll go with that. And that sounds horrid. You know, just to fill out the bottom two, just to give some ideas. Let's say together, let's go for like differing opinions on like, let's say anime or just anything in general that I like. Differing opinions on that. Like, they don't like certain things that I like, or I don't like certain things they like. You know what? That's something you can work through. You don't have to like all the same things as a couple. That's, what would I even draw for that? Maybe like an up vote and a down vote? Or something. Sure, that I could work through that. That's fine. That's something you can live with. It's a little Stewie Griffin head without the corners and a little antenna. Oh, okay, no, I see what you mean. Yeah. That's the Reddit logo. And then let's get married. What would be something that could be considered a red flag, but is also not that bad? Honestly, there aren't a lot of red flag things that I would even think about that, like, I would say, oh, let's get married for it. Again, probably should have thought through these tiers a little bit better, because I don't think I'm going to use that one that much. Getting the passion on infinite up something you like and constantly forgetting to account for time. You know what? Sure, let's get married. That goes in the married thing. Why not? The thing where it's like a bunch of info about one particular topic they're very passionate about. Because you know what? That shows passion in the relationship. And you need people like that. You need people to be excited about things. It's supposed to be little stars in the eyes, but I drew them too small. So it's going to be, yep. Like a whole thesis on, I don't know, Naruto or something. Or the mating season of bugs. Or whatever people are into nowadays. True crime, for example. That's something people are into. So you know what? That's actually a good thing. That's under Let's Get Married. If you perform rituals or do some cultist shit, marry me and ruin my life, please. Okay, that's interesting. I would put that under... Let's be friends. I would put that under Let's Be Friends. Because if they are actually contacting demons, I want them close enough to the point where I'm not an enemy to them. But I also don't want to get dragged into it if they are actually summoning real demons. Let's put that under witch. So yeah, that's... I want them close enough to the point where they are not an enemy. I don't want them so close to the point where I might have to give my firstborn to said demon. If you like to yap about things you enjoy, your partner feels like listening and engaging with it, that shows genuine promise even if you do get tired of it now and then. Exactly, yeah. That's a legitimately good thing to have in a relationship. You want someone who will be able to, you know, just enjoy things in life. You know, I think that's a very good quality to have in someone, is that they are passionate at least about something. Granted, you don't have to have passion necessarily. It's just, you know, that's general recommendation. Just gonna put that one out there. What else we got? I want to help an actual witch feed a demon in Promised Neverland style. Okay, so that's interesting. In a way that, like, that'd be an interesting conversation to have with them. I don't think, if a girl walked up to me and told me that, I'd be like, cool. And that'd be the end of that conversation. I don't know how to respond to that, because at that point we're just feeding children to demons. But, let me think. Oh, yeah, this one annoys me. You know how some people will end a sentence when they're typing it, and instead of having it be like a period, they do dot dot dot, like an ellipses, I think that's called. They do that for every sentence. I hate that. I think it's going into strangers, again, just because, like, I don't think I would kill someone over that, but yeah, I would not want to be with this person. Now it's, like, it's always dot dot dot. Not even ghosting. This looks like a ghosting thing. I don't know why I drew it like this. I guess I'll draw another one and have it be like, dot dot dot. I am not fond of that. For some reason, it annoys me. I don't know. That's more of a pet peeve, really. Like, yeah, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with that. This is going to be a bit confusing, but they're like a Junko cosplayer that deeply believes she's the end of V3 Junko with the 53rd DR1 traits and wants to be Remnant of Despair style. That might belong in an asylum of some kind. I hate to say it. Don't get me wrong, that would be fun for a little bit, but I feel like at some point, you gotta start worrying about the future of humanity. And just where that would go. Where would I put... I mean, at that point, you're just dating Junko from Danganronpa. Which, again, fun for a little bit, probably, but who even knows where that would go? Maybe you die. Maybe you get... I don't know. Turn into a remnant. A lot of ways that could be interpreted, truly. But, yeah, huh. Sounds made up. Are there incidents where Junko cosplayers do some insane shit because they believe they're Junko in some regard? Did they play the third game? Because I feel like they should. At that point, I feel like they'd get a lot out of that last little bit there. Just comedically. I don't know. So you know what? I'm gonna put Junko stuff in, You know what? I believe in being hopeful, so I'm gonna put that in enemies. Let's just draw a little bitty Monokuma there. I'm drawing this so poorly. Hold on. No, I'm doing this properly. Not that this is much better. But it'll do. Yeah, that's going in enemies, because I believe in hope. If you kill her, please chapter 6, you know what? If you if you kin her, yeah. You know what? I could work with that. Yeah. I could see that kinda... yeah, that could work. I didn't expect to be helping as an actual tier list, but this oddity is just as fun if you were playing a game, since I do need to stem my brain with something that isn't copious amount of books. Yeah, I like these little creative streams that go into weird places sometimes. It is nice to also get like suggestions from the audience, because then it's like, yeah, you know, we're all helping on this. We're all working together. What else do I got? What do I got on my list? You know what? There's another famous Reddit story that I found. You guys have surely heard of the poop knife, right? The poop knife from Reddit? The guy who apparently had like a little utility knife that when a toilet was clogged, he would just cut up the poop with it, and he had the poop knife. Honestly, you know what? I would admire the resourcefulness. As long as it's not a knife that's put back in like the food rotation, I think that's okay. You know what? Let's say together for poop knife. It's gonna be a knife with a little bit of stink lines coming off of it. It deals poison damage. Why that? That's a bioweapon in the form of a knife. Yeah, okay, but it's resourceful, though. That's the best part, is that it can be used as a poop knife. Or, let's say, a home invader. Home invader comes in. You get to stab them. What are you going to use? You're going to use like a normal boring knife that they can, like, get stitched up? No, you're going to pick the super ultra, like... I guess it wouldn't be tetanus. It'd be more like, E. coli knife. it deals poison damage. They are not recovering from the poop knife. And then you can go back to using the poop knife as a poop knife. Because the blood is honestly the second worst thing to have on it at that point. What's more than a plunger? Okay, yes, a plunger would be good. I'm not saying it's not good. But a knife, you know what? You don't have a plunger? You get in there, swish, 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 you're done. You're good. You know, you stab the poop until it dies, and then you get XP for it. We don't have a pea knife, though. That would be evil. Let me think. Just, like, what would be the cons of having a poop knife? I mean, granted, obviously I don't want to use someone using it in food, but if you specifically designate a knife as the poop knife, who can really say that it's wrong? Like, at that point, anyone who uses the poop knife, if you label it especially, like if you have a little label maker, put a label on there that says poop knife on it, that's whoever uses it's fault. Just have it hanging on like a door or something. I don't know. I personally do not have a poop knife, but you know what? Maybe I should. Maybe I should invest in a poop knife. Go down to like Target, get like one of those the knife set things, and find the least desirable knife in that set and use that one. A person that's way into SH, such as being a massive relapser on SHTWT, that's also a good red flag. Wait, what's SH? Like Silent Hill or SHTWT? What would that mean? So helpful. Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, I'm lost. I don't know what that is. Ah. Self-harm. I would put that in bad, but like in a way where I'd probably want to help them as opposed to just abandoning them. Self-harm Twitter. As in, like, you go to harm yourself on Twitter, or you post pictures of yourself getting harmed on Twitter? Because I feel like that's two different things. And are you harming yourself with the poop knife? Because I would not advise that on the basis of the poop knife being very bad for the sustainment of life. I don't think that'd be good for you. Self-harm Twitter. What would that even be? Let's see. Those types of accounts post ooh. Yeah, that's a red flag. Okay, so when you say good red flag, you mean like it's a red flag that they have that and not a that's a red flag that's actually good. Okay, same page. I was a little confused there for a sec. That's going... I mean, if they are harming themselves, at that point, it's like, okay, I want to see what I can do to help them. If they are looking at pictures of people being harmed, I'm going to say that's like... would that be friends or strangers? At that point, I'd be mildly concerned. Just in general. Maybe, if they do something weird, then, yeah, it's going into friends, because I want to keep them on my good side. Or me on their good side. So yeah, that's the bird from Twitter. And to be tasteful, I'm not going to do anything to it other than draw the bird from Twitter, because if I do it with, like, scars or whatever, that would probably be insensitive to the situation. Not because you're doing it for any particular reason, just if you do promote it for anyone but yourself, that's an issue. Yeah. Yeah. They don't want help, but the promotion of it for anyone but themselves is a little against the point unless you're pro-relapse count, which is where I draw the line. Yeah, that's pretty bad. At that point, that would probably go into enemies if they're, like, trying to get people to do that, because that's, like... That is actually, like, a crime, I think. I think that might actually be illegal. To tell people, like, oh, you should go do this. Especially if you enjoy it. At that point, that's kind of like... You might want to seek help for that. It's a far cry from eating grapes in the supermarket, which is still bad, but, you know... Yeah. What other stuff would I do? The similar form of Twitter for EDs too, that's a little too dark. I really hope for the sake of discussion that's erectile dysfunction, but I'm guessing it's not. Or eating Dilophosaurus. It's a really dark thing that I have to say, like, oh, I would rather that be erectile dysfunction than whatever that probably is. Oh, God. Oh. I'm holding my breath, waiting with bated breath just to see what that could possibly be. But, what else do I got here? Oh, yeah. Choosing to eat at the buffet, but only eating a single plate. Okay, yeah, if we're going to a buffet, you gotta eat the whole thing. Like, I'm willing to stay together. Sometimes you have a small appetite, but we are not going to a buffet if you're only going to eat, like, one little plate. This removes the point of even going to a buffet. The fuck are you here? You know what? Yeah, you know what? That's strangers. That's strangers. Eating one, I'm gonna draw a little tiny plate with, like, one little thing on it. That little diagram saying buffet because yeah, I agree, that's kind of unacceptable. Alternatively, eating disorder. Okay, yeah, that's pretty bad. That's also pretty bad. If I had this, okay, another one, opposite of the buffet thing, if you go to a restaurant and they immediately try to get the most expensive thing on the menu as soon as you say you're treating them, that's bad. That's strangers also. Actually, yeah. Let's go with, like, food and money. That's the most expensive chicken drumstick in the world. The most expensive thing possible, especially on, like, the first date, if you say you're treating them, that is psychotic. I would never do that if someone told me they were treating me. I wouldn't even get that if I knew they had the money. Just because, like, that's just common courtesy, I think, to not try to get the most expensive thing possible. Alternatively, apparently you don't want to, just socially speaking, you don't want to get the least expensive thing because you want them to think that, like, okay, you think they have money. Generally, when people do that, like, at a business thing, you want them to understand that you know they've got the money, but also not that you want to, like, take advantage of them. I think. To my knowledge. That's kind of the social faux pas part. Yep. Especially if you hook up with someone immediately after. Yeah. You're doing it for, like, a free meal. That's evil. That's mean. At least be honest about it. It's a cost-time ratio in terms of that type of stuff. I agree. Yeah. Or another bad thing is, like, if you say you're going to dinner and then they fill up on something else. Like, sure, you might spend a little less money unless you're going to the buffet. But, like, I mean, come on. We knew we were going to dinner. Why did you do this? Unless granted, I will say, let's say you're going to dinner with someone and you're going out with some friends and you know the food that they have there at the restaurant you're going to isn't really stuff you're that into. You know what? I would kind of get that. If you filled up exclusively, if we had an agreement of, like, okay, well, I know this isn't to your taste. I know you're not into spicy things, for example, so have something else now, and then you can just eat a little bit of, like, rolls or something when we get to the restaurant. And that's fine. That's okay. I think so. I wouldn't have an issue with that. So actually, eating a lot of bread. We got, like, a little loaf of bread here, little cuts on it, because that's what bread looks like. And we got someone filling up on bread. Little Kirby inhale lines. There. That's how to draw people eating. Fun fact. Another thing I hate is when people get pissed off at me because I use too many big words or I talk intelligently. So I don't have a vocabulary size of a caterpillar. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine to use big words. As long as you do explain what they mean when asked. It's like, I've been known to occasionally in conversations use, like, rarer words. Like, instead of chains, I said fetters once because that, you know? I've heard that word before. I thought it sounded cool. Fetters. I barely know her. Disregard that. Oh yeah, you know what? Let's get married. If they make an I barely know her joke, question mark, I would marry them on the spot. I think that's hilarious. I didn't even actually use big words. There's common words that sound long. Okay, yeah, like Micropachycephalosaurus, which is the longest dinosaur name in existence. But I understand. Yeah, I'd say that's under Let's Stay Together. You know what? Using like big words. Let's draw a dictionary. Pages in there. And it says on the front, Dick. We'll know what that means. That's the arrowhead green flag. Exactly, yeah. And then I barely know her. I'm talking like, if I get to a first date and a girl says that, I'm down on the knee immediately. I've got the ring out. It's in my hand. It's going on her finger, assuming, of course, that she wants to get married, at which point, then, obviously we would. If not, then I failed horribly. But, I'm just saying, green flag. That shows a good sense of humor. I realize, may not be a green flag for everyone, but I think it's great. I want to clarify. I make those jokes in part because I know they annoy some people, and also just because I genuinely find them funny. I do actually find these jokes pretty good. One of the longest Yu-Gi-Oh card name? Hit me with it. Go for it. Longest Yu-Gi-Oh card name. I have not played Yu-Gi-Oh in a long time, and I don't think I even played it properly when I did play it. But I am a fan of the show. I like the show. There's this one part of the Yu-Gi-Oh movie where Kaiba's talking to some of his scientists who have failed to give him a simulation where he can beat Exodia. And they're like, Mr. Kaiba, sir, give us another chance. And Kaiba just responds, another chance to fail? I think not. It's DDD Super Dimensional Sovereign Emperor Zero Paradox. That's actually great. I do like it when titles get really long like that. You know what? Another green flag? Having a really long name. I'm gonna write out I'm gonna write out Micropachycephalosaurus. Why not? Because you know what? That's pretty cool. Is that even a red flag to begin with? No, I guess not. But I don't know. This tab is gonna be pretty barren if I don't write other things on there. That is kind of cool. The DDD Super Dimensional Sovereign Emperor Zero Paradox. DDD part stands for Different Dimension Demon Deity. Okay, so Different Dimension Demon Deity Super Dimensional Sovereign Emperor Zero Paradox. Love it. It's so long. My favorite part of that would be, let's say they play that in the anime. Another the enemy would see it and be like, ah, he's playing Different Dimension Demon Deity Super Dimensional Sovereign Emperor Zero Paradox. And Yugi would be like, that's right. I am playing Different Dimension Demon Deity Super Dimensional Sovereign Emperor Zero Paradox. And I play Pot of Greed and end my turn. It lets me draw 2 cards from my deck. Not this time, Yugi. Okay, I'll stop. But anyway. Ooh. What else? Willing to go in the financial ruin of mindless little kids' toys. Okay, hear me out, right? Like, would I want to date someone who go into financial ruin over anything? No. But if they do get a really good Pokemon card, that is kind of cool. It is a little hype opening up a Pokemon packet and seeing like the special kind. Granted, I haven't bought a Pokemon card pack at this point in like a long time, at least a decade. But you know what? There is some interesting factors to that. So you know what? Let's go into Let's Be Friends. Why not? Not quite strangers. I wouldn't stay with them. But you know what? I do, to some extent, kind of get it. Like an obsessive spending on Pokeballs card games. Yeah, again, that's like, I would not stay with them, but at the very least, I kind of get it. It's one thing, though, I will say, if they're just reselling stuff, at that point, that's under strangers. Because that's like, if their goal is to just sell it, then yeah, If they're doing it because they're passionate about it, okay, then yeah, it's as a friend, maybe, but I would not stay with them, no. Financial ruin's just one of those things you can't really abide with. Huh. Something simple. They have completely conflicting movie opinions from you. Okay, that's already kind of under this, I'd say, the Let's Stay Together bit. This little part. But yeah, I do agree. You know what? I would be under Let's Stay Together. Even if we like different stuff, as long as it's not like... I think that's fine. I think it's fine to just have different tastes and things. You're not always going to agree with everyone. There probably is some common ground, but I would like to at least get along with them on most things. Like, we both like, I don't know, Jurassic Park, for example. But in general, it's like, I could probably make that work, ultimately. If it was just, like, a few other things. Oh yeah, I guess for going along with me saying, like, if they have, like, a vocal tick that they do all the time where it's just, like they watch, like, a movie or a show or something like that, and they just pick up something, like, a little bit from that, and they keep saying it. Or, like, let's say they watch Star Wars and they were like, the Emperor Palpatine thing where he's like, do it. If they just say that over and over again, which is basically a Game Grumps bit, you know what? That's going under Let's Stay Together. I'm gonna draw a little kind of Damien Darkblood from Invincible doing the Herm thing. I probably drew that very poorly. He's got the cap with the little lines on it, the little text stuff. He's got the eyes. He's got the jaw with the teeth. And he's got... That kind of looks like I wrote harm. I want to clarify for later people watching this. I did not write harm. I wrote herm. Now it looks like it says worm. Which leads into my next point. People that take the "will you love me if I was a worm" thing too seriously. I think I just said because it was also happening in the theater as part of the scenario. I get it. Yeah. I'm going to go with, like, okay, so let's say a girl is like, would you love me if I was a worm? And they take it way too seriously. Would you love me if I was a worm is a very goofy question, ultimately. I think we can all agree it's goofy. And me, like, let's say a girl asked me that. Obviously, my answer would be, I have to eat the worm. Me, always eat worms. Those early birds, they didn't even get them. I'm up at like 4 a.m. every day before the early birds. I'm getting all the worms. The early birds are starving and dying because I'm eating all the worms. My point is, I would not answer the question seriously. And I hope they would not take it seriously. Here's a message I sent before that. Speaking of movies, you complain loudly over an animated movie because they believe it's exclusively for kids. Oh, okay, yeah, no, enemies. Let's see. Yeah, enemies, definitely. What would I draw for this, though? What's like a quintessential, like, a thing people think is for kids, but it's actually, like, good for adults too? I'm gonna draw Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents. Because you know what? That show is always funny. Gonna be honest. I've completely forgotten how to draw Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents. I know he's got, like, the buck teeth. Fuck. He's got the hat, which I'm also going to draw pretty poorly. Oh my god, this is a little fucking nightmare version of Timmy Turner. He's got the little nose. And he's got a little ear sticking out, and he's got some hair. Alright. I've made a monster, and Cosmo and Wanda need to fix it. So yeah. I want a frog girl girlfriend that has a croaking vocal tick. That shit would fry me in a way that I would genuinely love. Just draw a Bunnicula. I don't know who that is, but I assume it's a rabbit that's also Dracula. Maybe. Or Wallace and Gromit. Basically, animation, you know what? It's not just for kids. There are plenty of good shows that also adults like. Not just talking about, like little kids shows. Invincible, for example. That's a cartoon. I would never show that to a child for obvious reasons. Also, I'm pretty sure Damien Darkblood has, speaking of that, has, like, little, like, demon ears, so I forgot to draw that in the design. Anyway, here's some Cartoon Network knowledge. You know what? Calling someone a clanker, enemies. Because that's just racist. But I guess I already said I'm not going to do racist stuff, but you know what? Bleep, bleep. This is going in fucking... Give him a little, like, light bulb head. And some, like, the mechanical ears. Calling someone a clanker, that is not okay. That's mean. Anyway, my knowledge of Cartoon Network stuff is more like, how can I put, what shows would I would say? Like, kind of like, you know, Johnny Bravo, or Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Courage Cowardly Dog, Ben 10, obviously, everyone likes Ben 10. Which, by the way, apparently Ben 10 is going to Fortnite soon. That's pretty cool. It's not an actual racism. Oh, I'm sure you tell all of your human friends that, don't you? Or do you have one robot friend, because that means it's okay to say that, huh? What is there something like Oblitus Casa to a child? I don't know what that is, but now I'm curious as to what that is. What is that? Oblitus Casa. Casa. Like, is that Spanish like casa, or is it like Latin for... I don't even know what that would be Latin for. But yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm a shapeshifter, technically I can reclaim a slur. You know what? Fair enough, I'll allow it. As the king of clankers, which I can say because I'm a clanker, I allow you to reclaim the slur of clankers. We are all clankers on this day. I've already worked through the majority of my list. I did not expect to get through this in under an hour. Oh, wait, no, here's one. Alright. I wouldn't show Binding of Isaac to a 3rd grade. Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. That would be a conversation. Let me think. Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you're going to show someone, like, let's say, One Piece, or Lord of the Rings, or something like that, and they say, no, I don't want to watch that, it's too long. That's going in... Honestly, that's going in Strangers. Because you know what? In my eyes, I don't really think a story is too long necessarily. It's more just how much you're willing to watch of it. Now, if you want to watch, like, the first bit and then be like, yeah, it's not for me. Okay, you know what? You tried it. It's not for you. That's just how things are sometimes. But if you're saying, like, no, it's a huge commitment. Silent Hill, yeah, Silent Hill's not for kids. Neither is Hell of a Boss. Or, like, Has Been Hotel, I guess. I haven't seen that, but I've heard it's at least not quite kid-friendly. But yeah, saying something is just too long, nah, that's Strangers. That's like, I'll draw Luffy. Not that it'll be a good Luffy, but, you know, you got the eyes, and he's got a little scar under his eye, which has exactly 2 stitches, and he's got his smile, and he's got a nose, I think, and yeah, He's got his hair. And he's got, of course, his famous straw hat. They're all into the stream mode. If you were to give something as a... If I were to give you something as a gift, what would you like? Okay, that also greatly depends on, like, the amount of money for it. That's... Your Tomodachi is asking me for context. Oh, okay. I guess some kind of, like... Let me think. How about the collector's edition of a video game? Why not? Go for that. If you need to be, like, generic or something like that, then that... I will give a specific game, then, if you need that. Yeah, I would say, though, you need to do some fuck shit on Tomodachi Life. Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard good things about that game. I just don't know if it's, like, a me kind of game. I might get it. I'll give it a shot, I guess. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people playing that. But yeah, back to the whole, I want to bring this up. Something I hear constantly is people say, like, oh, One Piece is a huge commitment. Guys, I need to say this. I need to say it out loud. I need to say it proudly. One Piece is not a big commitment. You know why it's not a big commitment? It's not even a commitment. It's not, no one's committing to anything. A marriage is a commitment. Like, buying a car or putting a mortgage on a house, that's a commitment. You're committing to something. A bank robbery is a commitment. You can stop watching One Piece whenever you want. You're not committing to anything. You're fine. You can quit. No one's... people probably will raise an issue with that. Personally, though, I won't, because I get it. Not everything's for everyone. You may not like One Piece. That's fine. I'm not saying you have to try it. But at the very least, don't act like it's a commitment, because it's not. It's not a commitment. Now that that's out of the way, yeah. One Piece isn't that much of a commitment if you play in time right, but I see people see the commitment because it's an obscenely long show. Yeah, people don't have self-restraint. Okay, yeah, I agree. You know what? It's like, it's not literally a commitment. I don't think people will say it's literally a commitment, like they're locked into it, usually. But I will say, I do see that opinion a lot, and I'm just like, man, I don't think that counts as a commitment. I just don't. Don't get me wrong. One Piece is fantastic. I think it's a great show. I think people should give it a shot at least. But you know what? If you don't like it, you see, like, there's a friend of mine, he read 100 chapters of One Piece, and he decided, you know what? He didn't want any more of it. I think that's fine. You read 100 chapters of anything, and you don't like it, you're good. Just stop reading it. I think that's okay. I think it's fine to just quit something when you realize it's just not for you. But to say ahead of time that it's like, oh, it's a huge commitment. No, it's not. It really isn't. You've committed to nothing. When I put up a stream, it's more of a commitment than when One Piece is being watched. Yeah, opinion over. I had to get that out. I'm sorry, guys. That was, yeah. Stating an opinion, but get mad if those opinions get challenged at that opinion. Okay, yeah, you know what? That's going into, like, if you're not open to criticism on your ideas, I would say that's a stranger's thing. I would say enemies, but clearly arguing with you would get you nowhere. So that's, let's draw a guy looking really proud of himself. And they're not gonna take any criticism from anyone. Sure. I guess that's what that represents. Alright, so I am going to have to go now in the next little bit, but you know what? We need one final red flag, and that is, if I was dating someone and I found out they were a VTuber, man, enemies on sight. As we all know, VTubers, evil. They're horrible people. So we're going to put that enemies up here, and for that, I'm going to draw a little me. Just a little me up here, just to round things out. That's the ultimate red flag, is being a VTuber. Could you imagine dating someone and then they're like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm a VTuber. Crazy shit. Anyways, I've been Arrowhead, your favorite VTuber android. Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow's Catherine. I keep messing up my own outros because I'm trying to. Man, I am fucking this up all. You know what? This is just what I look like. This is just what I look like now. I've got the little nose. I've got the fucking the trapezoid mouth that I had way back when. My eyebrows are too close to my forehead, as they were in my first model. Got my ears right here. Oh, I fucked this whole thing up. This is all terrible. Got the little curl. Got the little side curly things. Got the little, like, the fins on the side of my head. At least that's what I call them. And then, yeah. The ultimate sin is being a VTuber. Anyway, tomorrow I'm back with Catherine, where a guy cheats on his girlfriend and has nightmare dreams where he's a sheep. Anyway, see you then. Have a lovely morning or evening. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed it. Bye.